Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Shine with Andrea. I am your host, the Chief Shine Officer and Show Up Strategist for Shine with Andrea. And welcome to Tuesday. I can't believe that it's Tuesday already. It's like this month is, it is over halfway done. We have 11 days left in this month. It's crazy to me. We just got into May and now it's over. Well, I hope everybody has had a restful, peaceful sleep. And I hope yesterday was a day where you feel accomplished and let me ask, if you are watching this live or in the replay, I want to know, yesterday, those of you who dropped the word truth in the comment section, you dropped it because you were choosing to renew your mind. I want to know, how did that work out for you? Did something come up where you had to choose? What was that like? Let me know. Today is day 22, and we have been reading out of Show Up and Shine. This is my 30-day devotional journal, and it is a very pretty devotional journal, and it's very creative. It's because I created this. I designed this book. I designed the outside. I designed the inside. I did it. And, I love that I did it. It was very special because my first book, let me show you what my first book looks like. My first book, I helped design this. But this is my first book. And I love this book, and I think it is a very pretty cover. But when I went to write this book, well, I had to do things a little bit different. Oh, well, here's troublemaker number 1. I'm waiting for troublemaker number 2. Good morning, Latera. We are waiting for troublemaker number 2. Let's see if Miss Sequoia shows up. Okay. Anyway, so when I went to go write the devotional, that was after my mom had passed. Well, actually, I had started. She knew that I wanted to do it. I had started on it, and but I never really. I mean, to be honest with you, it was the first book that I was supposed to write. It was supposed to come before this book, but it turned into what was supposed to be a devotional turned into a book. And when I went to go do the devotional, nothing felt right to me. Nothing felt right. Like I was trying to create a devotional photo, something with flowers or, whatever. And it just wasn't working. Everything I looked at, I was like, nope, don't like it. Nope, don't like it. Good morning, Miss Vita. Good morning. Sending hugs your way, my love. Sending hugs your way. Nothing was right. I had 100 covers that I looked at. I had a couple of people, give me some ideas on what they wanted to do, and they were all beautiful. But just something was just not right about it. It just wasn't what I wanted. And so finally, I went to what troublemaker number 1 says is my playground. Canva is my playground. Never thought of it like that. Never heard that term before. Like, I know what a playground is. I've taken my daughter to a playground, but I never once thought that Canva, that's someplace that's not outside, someplace virtual, a software, could be my playground. I never even thought. And she said that yesterday in the presence of troublemaker number 2, that I'm waiting for troublemaker 2 to come on and identify herself. That I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. Yeah, she said that Canva was my playground. Canva is my happy place. Don't tell TJ Mercer that I said that. If you do, I'll never talk to you again. Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't tell TJ that I said that Canva is my happy place, because TJ tried to get me to use Canva for years. When I tell you years, like years. And I kept telling her, nope, 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 nope. Same way I told her I didn't want to use Gmail or Google Drive or Google this or Google that. Told her no. And you know what that is, y'all, right? When we don't understand something, we're just like, nope, stop. So anyway, I never thought that I would enjoy something so much. And so, troublemaker number 1 and troublemaker number 2 were, they were ganging up on me. Good morning, Luana. They were ganging up on me on Zoom yesterday. And my other playground, that's where I could really invite my friends over, to come out and play. But yesterday they weren't my friends. So, we were talking and they were saying, that this was a gift and that I really should help people to create this. And they were telling me how I had such great ideas, that who would think to, have pink paper, and just how I, just how I designed it. And, oh, there's troublemaker number 2. There she is. Yeah, no, we already identified troublemaker number 1 is on here, Latera, and we were waiting for troublemaker number 2 to make her appearance, and there she is, Sequoia. Good morning. And y'all, they were getting on me. They were getting on me. And they were getting on me so bad about me helping other people to create stuff. I did my vision boards, right? I did my vision boards. Y'all saw my vision boards, right? Let me see. I can pull this one out and show you. I did my vision boards. So this was my vision board. And so troublemaker number 1 and troublemaker number 2 had me in a chokehold on Zoom yesterday, telling me that Canva is my playground and that I really should help people to design their books and format their books. And they just kept on at me and on at me and on at me. And I was just like, no. And they were like, look what a beautiful job you did, And I also, had the design idea for this one, and I can't get to the other one, but I had the design, and I've had, I've helped a lot of people design a lot of stuff. And they said, you really need to help people with doing design work. And I was just like, I think if I had a little bit more, design, what did I say? Graphic design education, like took some classes or something like that. And that's where everything just went crazy. Everything went crazy. They were like, you make all sorts of graphics, and you've done the vision boards, and you do a lot of digital work. You make all sorts of stuff. Why can't you help people to do it? And I'm like, well, because I need more. And so one of the things that I learned yesterday, and y'all need to listen to this part, okay? One of the things I learned yesterday, that fear doesn't always show up. Expect it to. Okay? Fear doesn't always show up screaming, I'm scared. Good morning, Mike Casanova. Fear doesn't always show up screaming, I'm scared. Sometimes it shows up whispering, I don't know how, or I need to figure it out first, or where do I even start? It disguises itself as a practical problem when it's really a spiritual battle. Did y'all hear that? Because the entire time we were in Zoom and they were talking, the entire time I kept saying, I don't know. I have to figure it out. I couldn't even catch the vision. They were like, this is something that you need to do. This is something you've done. Why do you think you need more education? God has already given you what you need. God has already given you what you need. That's funny, Mike. Mike said, Latera, I had a feeling that you were number one. How many times do we get the opportunity to work in our gifting and do something that we're gifted at and do something that we love and do something as a service to someone else, and we want to step back? Sequoia says she acting like she need a PhD. Let's not talk about those. Now is not the time or the place. But you know, your fears don't always show up as like screaming out loud and saying, I'm afraid. Doesn't say that. Who said that? You are a creative designer. You have a creative nature naturally. Who said that? Luana, you want to be troublemaker? Uh-oh, wait, what happened? Luana, you want to be troublemaker number 3? You working your way up to that, okay? But sometimes it shows up behind, I'm not sure. Let me figure it out. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not sure if I can do that. I don't know if I want to try that. Let me go find out how. Let me go get more information. And the fact of the matter is that some of us were gifted by God to do certain things. And I know, but after inspiration, creativity is my thing. Okay? After inspiration, creativity is my thing. And so today, our devotion is leaving the old you behind. Latera said, Mike, as John Lewis says, I'm good trouble. Yes, y'all, they are very good trouble. They are very good trouble. And I don't know if you saw my stories, but I put a picture of the 3 of us in the Zoom. And it was a very, what's the word? When you do something, spontaneous. It was a very spontaneous picture. It was not posed. It was in the moment. And, you know, if you don't have friends that are going to talk behind your back in a good way, because that's how this whole thing started, by gossip. Okay, let me just tell you, that's why they are trouble number 1 and trouble number 2. It started all with gossip, where Sequoia was talking behind my back. Excuse me. Troublemaker number 1 was, troublemaker number 2 was talking behind my back to troublemaker number 1, and they were talking about me. And I know y'all thought about it. Troublemaker number 3, right? No, that's Luana. If you don't have friends that talk about you behind your back and talk about you in your front, in front of you, and pray for you and believe in you and believe in your gifts and push you to do what God has called you to do, then what are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? You cannot continue to be around people who just bring you down, who are jealous of your gifts, or who look at you and tell you you're never going to amount to anything. You got to have people who build you up and who remind you who you are. And of course, I'm joking when I say trouble. Of course, I'm joking when I say trouble number 1 and trouble number 2. Because we don't want to. Vita says, Andrea says, as she sits in front of an awesome backdrop. know about that. I don't know about that. Lawanda said, I love your genuineness. This is the way God built me. And it's just who I am. And I appreciate you saying that. But today our devotion is leaving the old you behind. Leaving the old you behind. And, I told them that I didn't really understand. I didn't really know if I could do what I do for me to do it for other people. And I have to leave that behind. So today I ask you, what do you need to leave behind? I need to leave behind the, I don't know, I'm not sure, because I'm a very much type of person where when I have to do something, I figure it out. I figure it out. I jump in and I do it. And, they both brought up to me, well, what did you do when you got to watch this from the beginning, Jocelyn. Good morning, sweetheart. What did you do when you started to do this? And Sequoia started to remind me of how I create all the stuff that I created for the design work I did for the challenge. That was all me. That was all me. I designed everything for the challenge. I put everything together piece by piece. Like, when you see this is me choosing every single letter, and then the dot and I don't know if you know, but that's like a rhinestone brooch. Every single letter, I'm choosing every single letter, and it's not just it's searching for it. It's searching for the right one. I have this thing, this idea, this vision that God has given me, and I just start playing in my playground. The glitter, what is it? Glitter. Yeah, it's not sequin, it's glitter. It's like the glitter paper. Whew. The glitter paper, and then taking each section, and I'm having to choose every single letter, right? In the back of the book, putting this together, let's stay connected, right? Instead of doing it in a regular way that everybody always does it, like I took it, roses, the letters, the QR code, right? Just doing things like this that, like, nobody's gonna do this. This is like, what? Right? This book belongs to you. This brings me back to my childhood. It brings me back to my childhood, when we had books like this. It's a piece of nostalgia, and then like putting my mom in here, and not just her picture in a box saying, never to be forgotten or some corny thing, but taking a picture of her that I took with her hands, creating art, spreading it across the page, and then adding her in and adding her favorite verse, Psalm 121. Like, this is all me. To go from a very pretty pink book with pictures in the book, right? We have pictures in the book, right? To a book with pink pages. That's my creativity. That's what God put inside of me. That's my gift. That's what he wants me to use. And that's all those troublemakers were trying to get me to understand. And we don't have to know how to do every single thing. But when we do what God has called us to do, then he leads us, he guides us, he gives us the vision. And we just have to trust him. We have to trust that what he put inside of us is good enough. Right? And so today our declaration is, I release my past and embrace the new thing God is doing in me. This was a new thing. This was a new thing. I miss what you said, Luana. She said, you always put your heart into whatever you're doing. I appreciate that about you. Thank you. You always create happy places for others to join. Oh my gosh. You just blessed my heart so big today. I appreciate that. Look, when you look at the back, you see how this is just the way you expect it to be, right? And then you look at this, you see the torn paper, right? That's me putting my stank on it. That's me putting my stank on it. And so that's what we have to nurture. And we have to take up opportunities to work in our gift. I've helped people write books. I've helped them write books. I helped, I even have testimonials of people who I've helped. And still, after all of that, I still question myself, second guess myself. We all do it. We all do it. And so I want to use my creativity to help people create that vision that they have. Not everybody is going to, not everybody's going to use me. Not everybody's going to hire me because I'm not going to fit everybody's aesthetic. And that's fine. But for the people, for the people who are screaming out and want something different and they know that they want more than what is, the norm, what everybody else is doing, just AI generated stuff or just regular stuff where it just looks like everything else. I'm the person who, when you want something when people are scrolling on Amazon, looking for a book, looking for a devotional, looking for something different, I'm the one who's going to make something that's going to pop and stand out. When you're looking to launch a product, when you are looking to create graphics, like I don't do the standard stuff, but I'm not standard. And so that session really helped me to see that, to understand that. And so I need to, I declare today, would you declare this with me today? I release my past and embrace the new thing God is doing in me. Ooh, I love that, Sequoia. I might have to use that. I make pages pop. I do. I make pages pop. If you scroll my page, you will see I've been designing graphics for a long time, over 10 years, easy. And I've evolved, and my creativity has evolved. And especially my mother, who was an artist. Once my mother passed, she passed that legacy onto me. And our creativity is very different. It's very different, but it's still that legacy that she passed on to me. And that had to happen in order for this to happen. That had to happen for me to go from this to this. So today we are leaving the old you behind. Okay? Transformation requires release. So you have to be ready to release it. You have to be ready and prepared and willing to release it. You cannot step into something new while clinging to the old. So you can't step into the place where God wants you to go while you're still holding on to who you were before. You cannot step into new. You cannot step into new while clinging to old thinking. Transformation requires release. You cannot step into new things holding on to old labels, things you've said about yourself, old limitations, old fears, old identities, all of those things, you have to leave it behind. Because some people are trying to move forward while dragging old versions of themselves behind. We're trying to move forward. Here I am every day telling you guys that we have to do this, we have to do that, we can't be perfect. We got to start before we're ready. And I'm holding on to my who I used to be. I have to. Good morning, Miss Patricia. That's right, Miss Vita. You can't put new wine in old wineskins. Thank you, Miss Vita. Can't put new wine in old wineskins. So where God is calling us out and he's pushing us into the forefront, and he wants us to come out of the shadows, and he wants us to come out of hiding, and he wants us to stop playing small, and he wants us to play big. He wants us to stop being the world's greatest secret. We're still holding on to, I can't, I'm not sure, I'm not qualified, I don't know if I can, I'm afraid to do that, I'm afraid to try, I'm afraid to start. You're not the first person to say that, Luana. Someone recently said that. Someone who does not know me, just met me through Facebook, said, you put the color and uniqueness in your world that ignites the gifts in others. I love that. I need to go back through and write these things down. Gordon just put the scripture there about the new wine into old wineskins. Those wineskins that have lost their elasticity. Otherwise, the wineskins burst and the wine spills and the wineskins are ruined. But new wine is put into fresh wineskins, so both are preserved. That's Matthew 9:17. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So the old you may have helped you to survive, but the new you is needed for where God is taking you. The old you may have helped you to survive the different situations that you've lived through, the different circumstances, whatever you've walked through, whatever you've seen, whatever you've experienced. The old you may have helped you to survive, but God is calling the new you out because that's what's needed for where he's taking you. So we're saying goodbye. We're saying goodbye, but we're also saying thank you. Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for getting me here. You did your job, but the new Andrea, the new Luana, the new Gordon, I'm going to take it from here. Because now, me and God, we are on our way. Where he's calling me to go, where the place that he's preparing for me, I can't take you with me. I can't take the old fears. I can't take the doubt. I have to leave the old me behind. My past is, your past is not a prison. It's not a prison. Your past is just that. It's your past. It was preparation. Your past is not a prison. Your past was preparation. And what once hurt you, what once embarrassed you, what once broke you, God is taking that and he's using it to strengthen and shape you. So I always say that the things that I've experienced, the things that disappointed me, the things that made me cry, the things that that I've walked through that have hurt my feelings, that have, just broken me down to my core where I feel like I just can't go on. The people in my life that have hurt me, it's not that. What God used all of that, and he's still using it to strengthen us and to shape us. But we have to stop identifying with who we used to be. I realize that, you know, I don't have to allow people to talk to me any old way. I don't have to. I remember being a young person in a relationship with someone who all they did was scream, yell at me, and call me all sorts of names, told me what I could wear, what I couldn't wear, what kind of music they didn't want me to listen to, and was very abusive with his tongue. And so when people yell at me, when people talk down to me, it is very triggering. And I shut down. And I don't want to hear it. But what I realize is I am not that person anymore. So I have to stop identifying with who I used to be. And I don't have to, endure it. And I don't have to give an explanation. And I don't have to talk about it. I don't have to talk about it. I don't have to give an explanation for why it hurts or why it's hurt me or how I feel. I don't have to do any of that. I just release it and let it go and let God deal with it. We have to release who we used to be. And sometimes it takes something like losing a loved one, losing a job, losing a marriage, losing whatever. Sometimes it takes losing something, losing yourself, where you look back and you say, man, I cannot believe that I endured that. I cannot believe that I allowed somebody to treat me that way. That was in my 20s, my very early, my teens until my 20s. That was a long, long time ago. And I'm totally not the same person I was then, but there are still some things that will hang on because we haven't allowed God to completely deliver us from it. Good morning, Miss Sherry. She said, if he calls me, I will answer. I'll be somewhere listening for my name. Amen. Luana says, I don't want to be that person I used to be. I want to be the woman God called me to be. God called me to be. Yes. So what label, what mindset or old version of yourself have you been carrying that God is trying to release you from? Let's pause right there. What label, what mindset, what old version of yourself have you been carrying around? Still answering to those names that God is asking you to release. It might be fear showing up in a way that says, I'm not good at that. I don't know. I got to figure it out. It might be just that, because it's not always going to come screaming, I'm afraid, I'm fearful. What is God asking us to leave behind? And let me tell you this, leaving the old you behind doesn't mean that you're pretending it never happened. It doesn't mean erasing your story. We learn and we grow. and we evolve. It means refusing to stay trapped in it. It means refusing to stay trapped in who that person was, in who you used to be. It's refusing to stay trapped in it and not evolve, not grow, not come out of it and become who God has called you to be. It may explain you, but it does not have permission to define you or to define your future. It may explain you, but it does not have permission to define you or define your future, because you are not who you used to be. You are certainly not who you used to be 20, 30 years ago. And when people treat you in a way that triggers you, that reminds you of who you used to be, you got to stop the whole thing in its tracks. You don't have to fight with that person. You don't have to explain yourself to that person. You can remove yourself from the situation, because you have to protect your peace at all costs. And then you just trust God to do the rest. And you don't have to hate that person. But you have to protect your peace. I want you to write down one thing today that you're leaving behind. Fear, shame, insecurity, inconsistency, people pleasing, hiding, old labels. I want you to write down one thing. Write it down. You can put it in the comment section if you want to, or you can just write it on a piece of paper. But I want you to write down one thing today. And maybe we should let's put it on a piece of paper. Let's put it on a piece of paper. Write down one thing. Get a piece of paper, write down one thing that you are leaving behind today. And then I want you to say it out loud. That version of me cannot lead me into my next season. Okay? I want you to write down one thing that you are leaving behind, whether it's fear, shame, doubt, insecurity, whatever it is, people pleasing, hiding, old labels. I want you to write down one thing, and then I want you to say out loud, that version of me cannot lead me into my next season. That version of me, I'm saying it right now, thinking about what I said yesterday, where my mindset was yesterday when I was in my playground with my friend, encouraging me, and they were speaking into my life, they were pouring into me, and I just could not see the vision. I could not see the vision. And on the surface, it looked like it was just me acting out like a toddler, but it goes deeper. We have to identify what it is. It goes deeper. It's a spiritual thing. And we have to know when the enemy is trying to talk us out of what God is trying to take us into. Don't let the enemy talk you out of where God is trying to take you into. So those doubts, those fears, we gotta write it down. We have to say out loud, that version of me cannot lead me into my next season. And then we got to take that paper and we got to tear it up, throw it away, and release it as a physically as an act of faith. So whatever it is, you don't have to tell anybody. Maybe it's something you've never even shared out loud. Maybe it's something people don't know. Sometimes it helps to release it to someone else as like accountability. Sometimes you just got to release it and let it go. Don't make a big thing out of it. Don't make a big stink out of it. Just do it. Release it. And every time you choose the new, you weaken the grip of the old. From here on out, we are releasing the old version of who we were. And every time we choose the new, we're releasing the grip of the old. God is not asking you to stay who you were. He's not asking you to stay. God is not asking you to stay who you were. He's inviting you to become more of who he created you to be. He's inviting you to become who he created you to be. You're not becoming a new person. You're just letting go of the old and walking into that new season, into that new level, into that new place where he's leading you. And that requires letting go. That requires letting go. So if you are here today, yesterday we read Renewing Your Mind. And today we talked about leaving the old you behind. The verse is Isaiah 43:18-19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing in you. And when you can let go of the old, when you can let go of and not let, I can't do it, I don't know, I can't see it, I can't think, I can't. When you can let go of that, then God can say, all right, now your mind is open to see the visions. See, God can't give you the visions. He can't, that's right. You can't see stuff. One, because you're saying you can't see it. And two, when you say you can't see it, then you are calling in that to be your reality. When you say I can't, you are declaring something. Okay, so we declare one or two things. We declare that we can, or we declare that we can't. And when we say we can't, I can't do that. We've already made up our mind, and then the actions will follow. So God can't even give you the new vision. He can't even allow you to see yourself in a different place, in a different space. You can't even see it because you've already locked that down. You've already made up your mind that you can't. But now that you say, you know what, I'm leaving that behind. I'm leaving it behind. I'm no longer going to look at something and say, I can't. I'm going to say, God, is this your will? Is this what you want me to do? Okay, so let's do it together. You show me. Lord, I need the vision. I need the vision. I need to see through your supernatural eyes, because my natural eyes will fail me every single time. See, my Wi-Fi is going in and out. I hope you got exactly what it is that you need from this today. God is not asking you to stay who you were. He's inviting you to become who he created you to be. And that requires you letting go. So I want you to drop the word new in the comments if you're leaving the old version of you behind. I want you to drop the word new. I did it first. I want you to drop the word new in the comments if you are leaving the old version of you behind. The old version of you behind. This should feel freeing. This should feel forward moving. This should feel, yeah, you might feel emotional. And it might be a little scary. But when you know who holds tomorrow, you can face today. You can face any day when you know who holds tomorrow. I'm so proud of each and every one of you that has declared publicly that you're going to leave the old you behind and step into the new version of you, the one where you are not alone. You are not alone. All right, y'all. That's all I got. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me every morning at 10 a.m. If you want to go deeper and be in a community where you're in a community where you are growing, where you are learning, where you have resources, where you have other people that you can have other people that help you to unleash your brilliance. Then I want you to join us in the Shine Academy. Join us in the Shine Academy. And if you are in the Shine Academy, you need to make sure that you are checking in every day. Because Rick says, I want to be confident. I want to be just as confident in writing books as I am with making music and singing worship. Well, being in a community helps you with that. And let me say this to you, Rick. When you first started singing, when you first started making music, when you first started singing worship, were you 100% confident? Answer me that, and then we'll go. When you first started, were you 100% confident in making music? Thank you for being here, Miss Angela. You're welcome, Lawana. Were you 100% confident? And I want all of you to think about that. You might be walking into something new, right? You weren't 100% confident. So guess what? You'll get there. You'll get there. Consistency is going to be a big part of that. You'll get there. And God always sends the right people at the right time. I've experienced that in my life. I've experienced that in my life. He always sends the right people at the right time. So remember, you guys, confidence comes in the doing. Yes. Confidence. You know what? I'm going to read something to you guys before I go. This blessed my heart so much. Okay. I'm going to read this, and then that's going to be the last thing you hear from me. This blessed me so much this morning because I have been just fighting this thing in my head of, Shine Academy. I want everyone to get what they need. I've invited people to come into this community, and I've been fighting, because I don't see a whole lot of movement. And I know it's brand new. I don't see a whole lot of movement. I don't see a whole lot of people commenting or saying stuff or talking about it. And I'm saying, okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Do I have enough information in there? I don't want to overload. And all these thoughts are going in my head. And somebody writes this in the community, and this blessed my socks off. I have been contemplating going back to school. What is wrong with me? LOL. I had not even told anyone that I had been thinking about it. Out of nowhere, I get a message inviting me to enroll in Shine Academy. God has a great sense of humor. Although this is not the school, SCHOOL, I was thinking of attending. However, it is the school, SKOOL, God knows I need to attend. Thank you, Andrea, for this platform. How about the 3-day consistency challenge? I spent so much time this weekend reflecting on the 3-day consistency challenge. Honestly, it was exactly what I needed. It completely inspired me to take the strategy Andrea and I built during our one-on-one session and push it even further. Every single lesson, testimony, and advice shared was pure confirmation that I am right where I'm supposed to be. It also proved once again that Andrea is the real deal. She's the expert She is the expert our businesses need if we want to grow with total clarity, confidence, and consistency. Her knowledge, raw transparency, and the way she breaks things down so you can actually use them is just unmatched. I didn't want to walk away I didn't just walk away motivated. I left with real actionable steps that already started putting into place. I've already started putting into place. I'm so incredibly grateful for the wisdom, guidance, and love she constantly pours into entrepreneurs like me. To be completely transparent, the last 2 months threw some serious doozies my way. Literally one thing after another, every single day for about 3 weeks straight. But I kept showing up. Nobody watching had any clue that all hell was breaking loose behind the scenes. I didn't crumble under that heavy weight, and I owe so much of that to a few things. The tools I grabbed from the book Show Up and Shine. That's this one. The powerful example of watching Andrea go live the very day her mom passed. And our private talks and messages and testimonies in the Shine Effect. Every single one of these moments have been a stepping stone that helped me climb over each obstacle. I am forever grateful to have gained not just a mentor, but a sister in Christ and a friend for life. That was everything I needed this morning. And what I realized is what Latera had been telling me. She said, you build it, you create it, you invite them in, and those who want it will go after it. Because that is what Rosetta has been doing. She has gone through everything in the classroom. She's gone through everything. She is working behind the scenes, and it is showing in what she's doing when she's showing up, in how she's posting. She's not sitting there telling everybody what she's doing. She's actually working, doing every single thing, and then implementing it. And that's exactly what I asked. Good morning, Latricia. Good morning, beautiful. Make sure you watch this from the beginning. Rick says, you're not doing anything wrong. We are. We need to get in the routine of checking in like work or school every day and know that it is a privilege to be a part of it. Let's go, Shine Crew. Speaking to myself first. Sequoia says, thank you for the impact you're making in our lives, Andrea. Thank you for the impact you're making in my lives, Shine Crew, in my life. So I love you guys. God bless you. And God willing, I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't come alone. Bring a friend. Bye.